Okay, today we'll start gas law. Now the first law, gas law is Boyle's law. Now it states that volume of a given mass of a dry gas is inversely proportional to the pressure at constant temperature. That means if I take a certain mass of a gas and if I increase the pressure of the gas, the volume will decrease. And if I decrease the pressure, the volume will increase. So therefore we can say, according to Boyle's law, volume is inversely proportional to pressure, and where T is constant, T means temperature. Okay. So in our common life also we know that gases can be easily compressed. That means when I am compressing a gas, that means I am applying pressure to the gas. And if you take an inflated balloon and if you just compress it, press it with two hands, you can decrease its volume. So that means when I am applying the pressure, the volume of the gas is decreasing, and if I release the pressure, again the volume increases. So in a simple example we can understand like that, when pressure of a gas is increased, the volume will decrease, but provided the temperature is constant, the temperature is not changing. So from therefore we can say that V is equal to K 1 by P, where K is the proportionality constant, and that means what? That means I can say that PV equals to K. Now this PV equals to K means what? Now this means that when I increase the pressure, the volume will decrease. When I decrease the pressure, the volume will increase. But in every case, the value of P into V will be same. That will not change. So that means P into V will remain constant. Okay. Now we can understand by this example. Now suppose this is pressure and this is volume. Now suppose the pressure of a gas is 1 atm pressure, 1 atmospheric pressure. Unit of pressure is atmosphere, centimeter of mercury, millimeter of mercury. But so suppose the pressure of a gas is 1 atm and its volume is 100 degrees Celsius, and in this case the temperature is constant. So whatever temperature, say a room temperature 32 degrees Celsius or 30 degrees Celsius, the temperature is constant, and at 1 atm pressure the volume of a gas is 100 centimeter cube, suppose. Now if I increase the pressure, say I am increasing the pressure 2 atm, the volume will decrease, right? According to the Boyle's law, the volume will decrease. Now we'll see that the volume will become 50 centimeter cube. Okay, and then suppose I am increasing it further to 4 atm now. Then we'll see the volume will decrease and it will become 25 centimeter cube. And I am increasing the volume to say 5 atm now. Then I will see that the volume will further increase and it will become 20 centimeter cube. So understand? So pressure is increasing and the volume is decreasing because they are inversely proportional. But P into V. P into V is constant. So this is called K. So when I am decreasing pressure, volume is increasing. When I am increasing pressure, volume will decrease. But every time P into V will remain constant. What, understand? Now if I think, say this one is P1, this is P2, this is P3, this is P4, that means different pressures. And if this is V1 and this is V2 and this is V3 and this is V4. So finally from this chart what we understood, we can say that P into V is equal to P1 into V1 is equal to P2 into V2 is equal to P3 into V3 is equal to P4 into V4, and it can continue like this, and everybody is equal to K, and everybody will be equal to K. Okay, so that means P4 V4, then P5 B5 P6. So at different condition of pressures the volume is changing, but at every time finally I get that everybody is equal to constant. So from there we get the Boyle's law equation. So now we can see, therefore P1 V1 equals to P2 V2 and P2 V2 is equal to P3 V3. Now they are different situations, so I am just showing you this P1 V1 should be equal to P2 V2, and where I can say that this P1 means initial pressure, V1 means initial volume, P2 means final pressure, and V2 means final volume. Now out of this P1 V1 P2 V2, that means initial pressure, initial volume, final pressure and final volume, if any three values are given, the fourth value we can get. So that means we can plot like this. Say P1 is say 1 atm, V1 is 100 centimeter cube, P2 is say 2 atm, then V2 will be how much? So now we can put this value P1 V1 equals to P2 V2, and then we can put the value that 1 atm into 100 centimeter cube, that should be equal to 2 atm into V2, and therefore finally I get V2 is equal to 1 into 100 by 2 centimeter cube, and finally I get P2 as V2 as 50 centimeter cube. So that is how to do a Boyle's law sums. Okay, understand? Okay, now we can also show the relation of pressure and volume in a graph. That's called the Boyle's law graph, that is V versus P graph. Okay, so V versus P graph. Now where we keep the pressure say in atm in the x-axis and volume in centimeter cube in the y-axis. Okay, now if I just plot this value only, so we can see the shape of the graph, how it appears. Now suppose this is pressure, means this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is all in atm, 1 atm, 2, 3 atm, 4 atm, 5 atm. And suppose this is say 20, then 40, this is 60, this is 80, and this is 100, all centimeter cube. Now if you see from here, 1 atm is 100, so 1 atm the pressure is 100. Okay, so this is 2 atm the pressure is 50, so 2 atm the pressure is 50, so we can take between 40 and 60, so this is 2 atm. So this 4 atm the pressure is 25, so 4 atm the pressure is 25, so 20, so 30, and then between that it will be this, say suppose this is 25, and 5 atm the pressure is 20, so 5 atm the pressure is 20. Now if I join these dots, I get a curve, and this we say as an hyperbolic curve, hyperbola. So it's an hyperbolic curve, and in this case we can say that temperature is constant, and temperature constant generally in physics language we say it is isotherm. So just for your knowledge, so when it's isotherm means temperature constant. So this is Vp graph. So very important, sometimes they ask state Boyle's law and explain Boyle's law with a graph. So in that case we have to show all these derivations, all this P1, V1, P2, V2 that I've showed you before, then the graph, then the values, and then the graph. So this is Boyle's law. Okay. Okay, now is Charles' law, the next law. Now it states that volume of a given mass of a dry gas is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. Now this is directly proportional. Now to the absolute temperature. Now what is absolute temperature? Absolute temperature means temperature in Kelvin scale. You know how to convert Celsius into Kelvin. So in gas laws always we do all the sums with Kelvin temperature, not with degree Celsius or Fahrenheit. So we always convert the temperature into Kelvin scale. And this states that the volume is directly proportional to the Kelvin temperature. And to convert degree Celsius into Kelvin, you add 273. So that means what? V is directly proportional to T, volume is directly proportional to temperature. In fact, it is absolute temperature or Kelvin temperature, and where P is constant. So pressure is constant. Now again, we can say that V is equal to K into T. And therefore I can say V by T is equal to K here. So in Charles' law we can say that V by T is always constant. That means if I increase the temperature, volume will increase. If I decrease the temperature, volume will decrease. But the value of V by T will always remain same, provided the pressure is constant. Okay. Here also we can understand by this chart. So this is V and this is T. When the temperature, suppose it is 10 Kelvin, the volume is 100. When the temperature is 20 Kelvin, the volume will be 200. When it is 30 Kelvin, the volume will be 300. And when it is 40 Kelvin, the volume will be 400. Okay. Now now again here also, if I think this one as V1 and V2 and V3 and V4, and this one as T1 and T2 and T3 and T4. Now from each of these values, if I calculate V by T, the value of V by T, so here also I am getting constant, the value of V by T is constant, so this is K. And here pressure is constant, so pressure is not changing, so I am just keeping the pressure constant. I am increasing the temperature, the volume will increase, and if I decrease the temperature, the volume will decrease. Okay, so from there I can understand कि therefore I can say that V by T is equal to V1 by T1 equals to V2 by T2 is equal to V3 by T3 and so on, V4 by T4, and but everybody will be equals to constant. So finally from here we can get the Charles law equation. So here we can say it is V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2, and this we call as Charles law equation. Okay, understand? Now similarly, now if I here also if I draw a graph, that's the Charles law graph, that is V versus T graph. So I keep V here and T in the x-axis and V in y-axis. So this is 10 Kelvin, 20, 30, 40, and this is 0 Kelvin. Okay, both 0, suppose 0, so 0 Kelvin. So now when the volume is 10, it is 100. Suppose now this is 100, 200, 300, 400. So this is volume in centimeter cube. So with 10, the volume is 100, then it is 20, then it is 30, and then it is 40. So finally we will get a straight graph. So since it is directly proportional, it is straight graph, and here we can say that pressure is constant. Okay, and when pressure is constant, generally we termed it as isobar. Okay, iso means equal, so isotherm, therm means temperature, so isotherm means constant temperature, and isobar means pressure is constant. And always remember, I'll talk about this later, that at 0 Kelvin, the volume of a gas always become 0. Okay, this is called absolute zero. I'll talk about this later, but you can see the volume is starting from 0 Kelvin, it is 0. So that means at the temperature of 0 Kelvin, the volume of a gas becomes 0, vanishes. And therefore this 0 Kelvin is known as absolute zero. But practically we cannot reach this much temperature. It is a theoretical concept. 0 Kelvin means minus 273 degrees Celsius. Because when you want to convert Kelvin to temperature Celsius, we have to subtract 273. So 0 Kelvin means 0 minus 273 degrees Celsius. So practically it's impossible to reach that much low temperature. So we cannot, practically prove that the volume is diminishing to 0. But theoretically we can say that if the temperature of a gas reaches to 0 Kelvin, then its volume become 0, and that temperature is called absolute zero. Okay, so we'll talk about it later, and this is about Charles law. Okay. Okay, now next is gas equation. Now gas equation is in fact the combination of Charles and Boyle's law. When I combine that Charles and Boyle's law, we get gas equation. The first thing we know that is P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2, and here the T is constant, temperature, and this is Boyle's law. So this is Boyle's law, number one. Again, we know that V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2, and here pressure is constant, and that is Charles' law. Now if I combine this, combining 1 and 2, we get, if I combine this 1 and 2, you just follow, we will get P1 by V1 by T1 is equal to P2 by V2, P2 into V2 by T2, right? So this we can combine, we can say P1 V1 equals to P2 V2, and then V1 by T1 equals to V2 by T2. But in this case, nobody is constant. Now the situation can also come that pressure is also changing, temperature is also changing, then what will be the effect on volume? In Boyle's law, what we have seen? In Boyle's law, we have seen that if the temperature is not changing, then what will happen to the volume if I change the pressure? Right? And in Charles' law, what was happening? If I keep the pressure constant and during that time if I change the temperature, then what will be the effect on the volume? And in gas equation is for which situation? In which situation? In that situation where pressure and volume both is changing. Pressure can also change and temperature. Pressure can also change and temperature can also change. So in this situation, what will be the final volume if I have to calculate? Understand? So therefore, so this is, here we can say that where P and T varies. So therefore, this is called the, this is the gas law, gas equation we say. Here also you can understand P1, V1, T1 means initial pressure, initial volume and initial temperature. And P2, V2, T2 means final pressure, final volume and final temperature. And out of these 6, they will always tell you 5 terms. So you can get the value of the 6th term. So that is this, okay. Okay, next is absolute zero. As I have told you before also, the temperature at which the molecular motion of a gas ceases, means stops, and hence its volume becomes zero, is known as absolute zero. And its numerical value is 0 Kelvin or minus 273 degrees Celsius. Now it is a theoretical concept, and practically reaching to this low temperature is impossible. Okay, now I'll explain you what you understood this. So this is Charles' law. That means what we know, if the temperature increase, the volume will increase. Now if the temperature is decrease, the volume will decrease. Now just try to understand, if I decrease the temperature of a certain gas, of a fixed mass of a gas, its volume will decrease. If I further decrease the temperature, its volume will further decrease. If I further decrease the temperature, its volume will further decrease. Now if I continue decreasing this temperature and decreasing this temperature and decreasing the temperature, if I continuously decreases the temperature of the gas, what will happen? The volume of the gas is continuously decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. Naturally a time will come when the volume become zero. And the time is which time? In fact, the temperature, when the temperature reaches to minus 273 degrees Celsius, at that time what happens? Theoretically the volume of the gas should be zero. but we cannot reach to this temperature, so therefore we cannot thought of making a volume of a gas 0, because gas is also states of matter and every matter has some mass and occupies spaces. So you cannot just destroy matter, so therefore we cannot, it's impractical to reach to that temperature, so that is called absolute zero. Okay, so that's the definition. The value is 0 Kelvin and minus 273 degrees Celsius. Next is STP. Sometimes in the sums you will find gas at STP, the volume of a gas at STP is given, or they may ask you find the volume of the gas at STP. Now generally in this gas law sum they will mention you the temperature and pressure, but if they mention STP they will not mention the temperature and pressure. You have to know this value. So automatically when they say ki a certain gas at STP, now when they tell us ki when the certain gas is at STP, that means its pressure will be either 1 atm if it is in atmosphere. It will be either, then it can also be in centimeter. So in that case the standard pressure is 76 centimeter of mercury, or if it is in millimeter it will be 760 millimeter of mercury. It depends upon your other value. Suppose this is P1, they are talking about P1, then you have to find out ki P2 is given in which unit. If P2 is given suppose 5 atm, then I will take P1 as 1 atm. If P2 is given as 30 centimeter of mercury, then I will take P1 as 76 centimeter, because they told me standard pressure. And if the P2 is given in, say suppose they told 400 millimeter, then I will take P1 as 760 millimeter. It depends upon which unit they have used, we will use that unit. And temperature is 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin. Okay, and always remember when you do the sums, always convert the temperature into Kelvin scale. Okay, and then now suppose V1 is given 100 centimeter cube and T1 is given say 10 degrees Celsius. V2 you have to find, or V2 is given say 200 centimeter cube and you have to find T2. Then the first thing is that first of all I should plot all the sums, Charles law, Boyle's law or gas equation in this way. V1, P1, T1, V2, P2, T2. And then I will convert always the first thing. If I forget, then there will be a problem. Sometimes most of the students forget to convert the temperature in Kelvin and do the sum. So the next thing you should remember that always convert the temperature into Kelvin. So I will make this one as, and now I will use 283 Kelvin in place of T1. I will not write 10. Understand? And then I will use this V1 by T1 equals to V2 by T2. So V1 is 100 and T2 I will put 283 and V2 is 200, and then I find T2, and from here I can get T2 by doing cross multiplying. So you should remember all these things, STPs, the values about the Kelvin, before doing the sum. Make sure that you understood all this, and then the sums are not very hard, they are very easy. Okay, understand?